Part 2 of the WCW Invasion Fantasy Booking. Obviously, as you guys can tell, look, are there going to be times I forget about some stars? Yes, but with these big money contracts, you're going to have guys that can only want to work a certain amount of dates. You have them come in and do their stuff, then you have them work a pay-per-view match, have them go away for a bit, and that way you don't overexpose them and you give a chance for the younger guys to really get their chance to shine. So as I left off, we had Team WWF versus Team WCW, obviously WWE now, but WWF at the time. Goldberg manages to win for the WCW Alliance or the WCW brand when Sting attacks Austin. So the next night, Bischoff is gloating. Vince looks defeated, wants a chance to get his company back. And Vince says, I'll fight any one of your guys. Any one of your guys. And Eric's like, you know, the smug son of a bitch that he is. Like, anyone? Boom! Randy Savage attacks him. The heat is because Randy Savage was loyal to Vince. Vince was going to go with the youth movement. Randy got offended and left the company. And Vince and Randy had that heat or whatever from all their, from, you know, the Slim Jim deal, costing Vince millions when Randy took it with him, because Randy was a spokesperson for him. And there was a lot of heat like that. And then the rumors that Randy Savage slept with Stephanie right after she turned 18 years old. There's always that. But, I mean, again, rumors, there's just simply rumors. Nothing about it at all.
You made a woman out of her.
I just, that would explain her ever fluctuating chest. But anyway, so Savage attacks Vince, so we have that. Vince has a chance to get his company back. He's just got to face Randy Savage. So Randy Savage versus Vince, Austin versus Sting for the WWE title, Rock versus DDP for the world title, Taker, Kane versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome, Booker T versus Jericho for the U.S. title, and the Hardys versus Totally Buff for the WCW tag titles. Yeah, I kind of threw some shit together. Sorry. But anyway. So, okay, you want to go with some of those matches? Let's have Savage obviously beat Vince. You can't have Vince gain the company back already. Austin will beat Sting in a false finish. You'll have a DQ because a bunch of guys will run in. Rock will not beat DDP. DDP will win. Taker and Kane will beat Storm and Awesome. Jericho will beat Booker T. He will have the U.S. title since Booker T will have come over as the U.S. champion and world champion from the last episode of Nitro. And the Hardys will be Totally Buff. But Vince will not get his company back. So a bunch of Vince's guys suddenly have championships, but they can't do anything about that. Anyway, then we go to the Summerslam main event. Austin and Sting, like I said. So you're going to go 20 minutes and everything. And actually, you're going to have it where... You're going to have it, this is how the false finish is going to happen. I didn't say how the DQ is going to happen. Back and forth action. Austin and Sting are just tearing it up. It's great. Sting's motivated, unlike how he was against Triple H at WrestleMania 31. Then again, he knew he was going to lose. Vince and Bischoff are around ringside. Austin nearly has a one. Bischoff pulls the referee out. Vince attacks Bischoff's beating him down and everything. DDP and Savage run in or whatever while the referee's down, trying to, gain the advantage for Sting. And Rock and Taker come down, try and help their guys. And suddenly, the NWO's music hits. Hall, Nash, Hogan come down. They level everybody. They level everybody with pipes. They're just beating everybody down.
Nash tears a quad.
Nash tears his quad later, actually. But anyway, Nash actually will be healthy here, and Hall will be sober, as Hall was having a lot of demons at the time. And Hogan will be willing to put somebody over eventually. But the three guys are out and everything. Just three guys. Let's lay out. You got the guy. Vince and Bischoff are kind of coming too after their scuffle, but DDP, Savage, Rock, Taker, Sting, Austin are out, and Vince and Eric or whatever both grab mics and they're both screaming over each other. Not like against each other, but they're screaming at the NWO. It's like what? It's like who the hell do you think you are? You don't work here. They look at Vince. Vince and Eric say, "Who the hell are?" He's like, "Who brought you here?" And the three guys point to the back, and suddenly this music hits, the CNN theme, and out walks Ted Turner. How's that for a little bit of a swerve? Ted Turner, because him and Vince have history going back to the Crockett era in 84. And then, of course, Bischoff and Ted having some history since Bischoff was kind of given, the golden goose that lays the golden eggs to help with Ted's company. Suddenly, oh my God, Ted Turner brought in the NWO. What the hell's going on? Even though the NWO was a concept originally in Japan, and then Bischoff adopted it and reshaped it for WCW. But my God, Ted Turner, the crowd goes nuts, fade to black. So then you go to the Raw the next day. Vince and Bischoff demand answers. Turner appears. Turner not being the best talker that he ever was, that he ever could be. Whatever. Turner appears. Eric, you claim you made WCW what it was, but it was with my money. Vince, you tried to come into my territory in 84. I put 85, but it was 84. I didn't forget that now, and Eric, I didn't forget how you brought in the NWO, or you created the NWO. It helped WCW, and you let it kill WCW. And Vince, I'm never going to forgive you for what you did to my company and my brand. So you both tried to kill me as a businessman. I brought in the NWO to kill both WCW and WWF. If I can't have WCW, no one has WCW. So Ted says, let's have another War Games. Now, mind you, WCW is still in charge here at this point, even though Bischoff and Vince have kind of come to a bit of a truce because you got Ted Turner there with the NWO. 3 guys, Hall, Nash, and Hogan. And he says, let's have another War Games match. My team, Team Turner, the NWO, it'll be 4 versus 4 versus 4. And he's like, but you only have 3 guys in the NWO. He says, oh no, I have 4. Versus Team WCW versus Team WWF. Let's see who the real dominant brand is. Oh, and Vince, it's going to be a Fall Brawl, not Unforgiven. Fall Brawl, big WCW pay-per-view. So Vince and Bischoff agree, put aside their differences to take down the NWO. Next 4 weeks, Anarchy, NWO is attacking guys backstage and wherever, having matches and that kind of stuff, and interfering in each other's matches to make sure they get the victory and ultimately stand tall. WCW and WWF now trusting each other not to jump to the NWO side since the NWO had such influence. Fall Brawl. Team WWF. Austin, Rock, Taker, and Jericho versus Team WCW, Sting, DDP, Goldberg, and Lance Storm versus Team NWO. Nash, Hall, Hogan, and who? Well, here we go. Total brand supremacy. Winning brand gets bragging rights. So, the match is a brutal bloodfest. I mean, you got the NWO members coming out last, though, each. So you got WWF, WCW coming out whatever, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, or no, 7, 8, and then and then 10, 11. So you got Team NWO coming out 3, 6, 9, and 12. Obviously NWO, big surprise. You got to save it for the end. Everybody's bloody. Storm and Jericho bloody each other. Everyone else is down, staggering as the clock ticks down for the 12th and final entrant. And Savage has been out since his time with Vince. Vince had, after he beat Vince at SummerSlam, Vince had him taken out on the Raw. He had not been seen since. Randy Savage had not received his reward for helping Bischoff maintain brand supremacy. So suddenly, Randy Savage's music hits after a pause. Randy Savage joined the NWO like he did in 97, whatever, 98. And oh man, lays waste to everyone. They're about to win. It's like, it just looks like it's submit or surrender. So you got to give up or you just got to pass out and be unable to answer the count. And then suddenly, Triple H's music hits. He did not tear his quad right after Judgment Day 01. He suffered an injury that kept him out till now. He comes down. He's fuming. We hadn't seen Triple H for months, so he gets a huge pop. It'd been about nearly 4 months. He comes down, sledgehammer in hand. He manages to produce it from under the ring, grab it under the gate, get the sledgehammer. He gets in the ring, looks like he's about to hit the NWO members, clocks Austin, clocks Rock, clocks Taker, pedigrees Lance Storm, pedigrees Jericho, pedigrees DDP, pedigrees just everybody. It knocks out Goldberg, just knocks down everybody. And then, so we go with that. And sorry, I have a whole bunch of slips of paper here that I'm looking at. Storm Right, he just takes out everybody. They make Lance Storm give up, even though, I mean, I hate to make Lance Storm look weak, but out of the 4 guys, he would be the lowest on the card. So you make Storm give up, he just passes out, and since he cannot answer, it is submit or surrender, so Team NWO wins. Vince and Eric are in shock. Turner's at the entranceway looking happy as we fade to black. Next Raw. NWO, Hall, Nash, Hogan, Savage, and Triple H with Ted Turner in the ring. They talk about how there's a dominant brand, and with Turner's backing, because Turner's still got that money, that cash homie, they're going to bankrupt and drive out Vince and Eric. So the NWO, they demand to book the card for not No Mercy, but Halloween Havoc. And the Halloween Havoc card is going to look like it. So, I mean, you got basically where NWO is going to dictate the whole thing. They got power, veteran leadership, and Triple H being the younger guy, and Ted Turner's backing. They don't get stronger than 5 guys. 5 guys, that's it. That's all you need, because this whole thing is going to end in a couple months. So don't dilute the NWO. 5 guys is fine. You have a way to make it keep happening. So anyway, Halloween Havoc, Hogan versus Austin for the WWE title, because Hogan wants that belt. Hall versus Taker, that'd be an interesting match, especially now with how their characters work. Nash versus Rock, Triple H versus Sting, Savage versus DDP, Storm versus Jericho. Again, you got Jericho as the U.S. champion. Storm wins the U.S. title here. You finally give him a bit of a push here. So, even though they don't really want to battle each other, Storm wants that title. They want to battle the NWO, but since they're battling each other, whatever. You also have the Cruiserweights battle, tag teams. I'm just kind of ignoring those guys because this is more the main event guys that I'm doing. And then NWO loses some, Rock and Hall, versus Rock, and Hall versus Taker. They lose, but they win. Sting beats Triple H, which should have happened at WrestleMania 31, by the way. DDP beats Savage, because you're going to play off their whole history from 1997, where they had a great match at Halloween Havoc 97. By the way, if you haven't checked out their trilogy, it's Spring Stampede 1997, Great American Bash 97, and Halloween Havoc 97. They also had a cage match in 98. Those 3 matches, those 3 pay-per-view matches, as I hold up about 12 fingers, are the matches you want to go for. But anyway, Hogan defeats Austin. Through shenanigans, whatever, Hogan is the new WWE champion. So even though the NWO lost some, the Outsiders, Hall, Nash lost some, Hogan ends up as the guy holding the belt and everything, doing this, or spray paints NWO on the WWE Championship. The next Raw, Vince and Eric demand the Turner stop this. Turner, my guys are here to take over, and we have. I mean, I wrote down the dialogues. Forgive me if I'm looking. You want to make us stop, or you want us to stop, make us stop. After some banner, 5-on-5 match for Survivor Series is made. And it's a true winners take all thing. And the reason I'm doing this is because you're going to have the invasion still take place, but you got too many leaders now. You got to kind of back it off. You've had your big shocking moment. Let's ease back here a bit. So you got Team WWF and WCW. Vince and Eric still agreeing to, mix their guys or, put their differences aside. It's Rock, Austin, Goldberg, DDP, Sting versus Team NWO, Hogan, Hall, Nash, Savage, Triple H, elimination match. Again, winner take all. Down to Austin, Goldberg, Hogan, and Triple H. Goldberg accidentally spears Austin after Austin had kind of gotten in his face about not tagging him soon enough. Goldberg does accidentally spear him, but he looks like where he's just not sorry that he did it. So suddenly Triple H, pins. So Triple H pins Austin 1, 2, 3. So suddenly it's down. It's Goldberg's like, oh shit, I gotta face these 2 guys. Goldberg gets beaten down. Sudden burst of energy, spear to both guys. Jackhammer to Triple H, 1, 2, 3. Down to Hogan versus Goldberg. And this is where Vince's ego comes into play, where you gotta have Vince put his ego aside. Have big money matches, even though we've seen Hogan and Goldberg before. You have Hogan attacking Goldberg after a distraction from Triple H. He low blows him. Hogan's just beating him down with the chair as the referee is down. Suddenly, Flair's theme hits. Flair down, his robe and everything comes down. Pomp and circumstance, pyro hits. It's great. Vince is shocked. Eric's shocked. Hogan's more shocked. And then all of a sudden, boom, spear, jackhammer, Goldberg, 1, 2, 3. Turner is out of power. And that's where I'm going to leave you. So we're going to go with the cliffhanger here. So, what's the next part? You'll have to tune in. Follow me on Twitter at RebornAgain, REBOURNE again. I'll see you.